Hey everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to chain excellent throws. Just before we get started, there are 5 prerequisites to be able to do this, and they are the quick catch method, playing in AR mode, C-throw, fast flee, and the fast ball swap. The fast ball swap is optional, but if you want to be able to use any other balls to chain excellence, you're going to have to learn that as well. There are a lot of other places to learn these things, so I won't be going through them today. With that, I'll show you a first video that displays something I was trying to learn, and I had a theory about, which was I thought that the way the circle worked was when you leave an encounter and enter the next encounter, the circle size will remain the same. And you can see that in this video where I'm hitting an excellent throw, and when I get into the next mon, the circle size is still in the excellent state. And I do an entire cycle afterwards and throw the ball. The thing to take away from this video is that it is exactly 6 seconds in between each throw. But this theory is actually incorrect, and I'll show you why in the next video. So here I'm throwing an excellent, and I'll get into the next mon, and you'll see that it does not start in the excellent state. Same thing with the next one. Even though I was excellent, the next one does not start in the excellent state. And the thing to take from this is that I'm deliberately taking extra time in between the spawns before I click them. And the way the circle actually works is it is always collapsing at a 2-second rate. So it takes 2 seconds for the circle to go from fully sized to non-existent, and it always is collapsing. That means after you've thrown the ball, it is still collapsing. When you're on the map screen, it is still collapsing. So what this means is, and this relates to the previous video, you can throw an excellent every 2 seconds or 4 seconds or 6 seconds, which is what you were seeing in the previous video, because the circle will be in the exact same state every 2 seconds. The only thing that stops this is if the mon attacks. So if the Pokemon attacks, then the circle stands still for that duration, and the timings can get out of whack. So normally the fastest throw you can make is 3.5 seconds from everything included, including clicking into the next mon, throwing the ball, and then fleeing. All of that takes 3.5 seconds, which is less than 4 seconds, which means we can spend enough time doing everything and being able to throw again. But that 3.5 seconds is the absolute fastest speed, and that means we're throwing before the circle has become unlocked, and we're going to get that 50% rate that you're normally used to in AR mode. But we're not wanting to do that. We're wanting to wait until the circle is unlocked, and that takes 3.8 seconds at best. So the aim is to throw the ball as soon as the mon is unlocked, and exactly 4 seconds after your last throw, which will mean the circle is the same size as the previous throw. Because the fastest we could possibly do this is 3.8 seconds, you actually get 0.2 seconds worth of leeway, which is not very much, and it does not leave any room for mistakes. But with some practice, you'll be able to get that. So the video I'm showing you now is Shellos Spotlight Hour, and you can see that I'm getting excellence on each of these, and they are exactly 4 seconds apart because the circle, in between each catch, the circle has collapsed 2 times. So 4 seconds. One way to get used to this timing is it's 3.8 seconds for a perfect throw, but if you're spending time, for example, you're spending too long fleeing, or you're spending too long trying to get into the next mon, you're probably not going to hit 3.8 seconds. You're probably going to hit 4 seconds or even longer. And hitting it longer is not going to work, but you want to try to be hitting it exactly on 4 seconds. Some way to learn when exactly to throw, you want to throw exactly when the mon is unlocked, and one way to learn this is by looking at the text that says, for example, you see in this, a wild Shellos has appeared. You want to look at that text and learn at what point when it's disappearing to let go of the ball. This took me maybe a week to kind of master. It's not easy to do, but it's what I would focus on first. Even if you're not hitting the excellence, try to focus on throwing at the exact right time that the circle is the correct size. And after you've got the timing down correctly, you can then start focusing on your accuracy. Just a thing to note though, if you're using C throws, this is going to be a lot quicker to get your accuracy correct than your normal excellent throws, because you can go directly from a throw into an excellent. You don't have to sit there spinning the ball. You don't have to possibly throw from a different state of ball spin. So one last video to show some things that you might encounter. So in this video, I start the chain by setting the circle on the Bunnelby. I failed a few times, but as soon as the circle's set, I can start chaining. So the first one I miss, but that's, like I said, that's fine. The circle is still set in that position. Next one I get. So I think it's on the Pidgey. You'll notice that my fast flee, I failed the fast flee. So here I go. Yep, I failed the fast flee. So the next mon is not, I've spent too long. It didn't stop. It didn't start at an excellent state because I took about 4.2 seconds. So I'll go back to that. So take a look at it again. You'll see that I fail the fast flee, and I know that I've failed the fast flee. So what happens is I don't try to go for the quick excellent again. So there you go. I failed the fast flee, and I know that I've done it. So I wait and do a 6-second excellent instead. I set the circle again, start a new chain, and go again. So one of the things to note is just knowing when. You'll learn this over time. It takes practice, but you'll learn when you need to start a new chain because you've taken too long. Either you've taken too long to click into the next mon. Maybe the game's lagged a little, and you haven't clicked into the next mon quick enough, or you failed your fast flee, or there are a bunch of things that could have happened. But you'll get a feel for when it is you're being too slow. And you'll be able to just forget about doing the 4-second and just go straight into doing a 6-second, starting a new chain. Another thing is going too fast. So the first Spotlight Hour I tried this on was Shellos Spotlight Hour, and you can see in here I'm doing 4 seconds, 4 seconds. I think, yeah, this one's 4 seconds. This one I think is 3.8 seconds. No, that one's just missed. That one's fine. That one's fine. Must be later in the video. I think it's this one. So I think I went in too quick, and it ends up being a great throw. So what happened there was I ended up spending 3.8 seconds or maybe 3.9 seconds, and so the circle hadn't collapsed entirely yet, which means the circle is actually going to be bigger. That happened again. The circle's actually going to be bigger than an excellent because it hasn't been exactly 4 seconds. And it isn't usually a problem, but on Spotlight I'm trying to go very fast, and every mon's the same, and there's so many mons around that I'm clicking them really fast. So you can get into that state where you're hitting 3.8 seconds, and then the circle is not going to be in an excellent state anymore. It's going to be a bit too big. Now, obviously, that means you can just spend a little longer setting the circle and throwing the ball. but I actually wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend clicking into the next mon a little bit slower, because you don't want to be spending time setting the circle, because the 4-second excellence, it's quick, but it's not the only advantage. The other advantage is, if you're doing it this way, if you're throwing straight out of the lock state, the mon can't attack. The mon does not have time to attack. If you're spending an extra 0.2 seconds setting the circle, it does have that opportunity, and so it is better to spend your time outside on the map screen instead. If you've made it this far through the video and you've understood most of it or a lot of it, then congratulations, and hopefully you can start trying to learn this, practice it up. Don't be discouraged if it takes you a long time to get used to the timing, especially the timing aspect, because it does take a while, especially if you're used to just normal AR where you're trying to throw as fast as possible. Just keep practicing. I'm sure you'll get used to it, and remember to focus on the fade out text. That'll help you get the timing correct. Feel free to tweet a video at me if you're having trouble with it, and maybe I can try to figure out where you're going wrong, and maybe help you find out where your problem areas are.